So this is a Cortex online gas analysis system. It measures the oxygen that we breathe in and the carbon dioxide that we breathe out. And we can use that for both sport performance and health tests. So the first thing we need to do before we actually use it is calibrate it to make sure that it's going to give us accurate data. And that's what I'm going to run through now. So the first thing we need to do is open up the software, which is called Metasoft Studio, and that'll bring up the main screen. So once we've opened up the software, we need to click down here, Calibrate CPET device, which is flashing. And there's two things that we need to calibrate for. It's the gas, so that's the ambient gas in the room, and then another gas, a known quantity gas, which is going to be oxygen and carbon dioxide. And then also volume, so that's going to be calibrating for the amount of air that the participant breathes in and out. So we'll do the volume first, and for that we need to fit some equipment together. So this is going to be the turbine and turbine housing. Now we fit the turbine into the turbine housing, mesh side first, and we need to push it all the way in. And then we add the volumes transducer. So this is going to measure the flow of air that's going in and out of this device. So we push that in and twist it around to make sure it's tight. When we actually run the test, this little hole will have the gas sample line fitted in it. But for now, we want to block that up so none of the air is escaping while we measure the volume. So we're going to put that little black plug in there. We then need our calibration syringe. So each time this is pumped in and out, 3 litres of air moves out of that. We're going to put the housing into the calibration syringe, and then on the software, we're going to press Start Calibration Measurement. That's going to bring a little red line across the screen, and we're going to pump in and out using the syringe, and that red line is going to go up and down. And the idea is that the top of that line is in the first lilac section, and the bottom of the line is in the bottom lilac section there. And each time we do that, we register the volume. And we need to do that 5 times for it to calibrate. You get this calibration successful little message here. So that's the volume calibration done. Now we need to calibrate the gas. So the first thing we're going to calibrate for is the ambient air, so the air that's in the room. So to do that, we're going to use the gas sample line, and we want to hang that freely over the edge of the computer screen, making sure that it's not in any drafts or we're not breathing on it, which can affect the result. And then we click on Start Calibration, Step 1 there. And that's going to calibrate the ambient air in the room, which should be roughly about 21% oxygen and 0.03% carbon dioxide. What we're looking for on the screen is these dots to run pretty much straight along these 2 lines here to show that it's calibrating successfully. And that usually takes about 30 seconds. So we get this message, measurement of gas 1 is finished. So next thing we're going to do is gas 2. For that, we need this cylinder of gas, which is 15% oxygen and 5% carbon dioxide. And we use that because it's what we call in the metabolic range. So that's something that we could expect someone to breathe out during a test. So to do that, we insert the gas sample line. And then on the screen, we press Start Calibration, Step 2. And again, at this point, we're telling the Analyser that this is 15% and 5%. So that's finished. And now what we need to do is check that the calibration has worked correctly. So we click on check just there on the screen, and we need to change that to calibration gas because that's what we're connected to. And then we press start test gas measurement. We click that. And just down here, it's telling us what it's actually measuring and the deviation. So we've got this set up so that it's looking to be 15 and 5, and we want this deviation value to be less or 0.02% or less. So at the moment it's 0.01 for both, which is fine. Once that finishes, hopefully those values will remain 0.02 or less. So that's finished, and both values were spot on there, so that's great. Now all we need to do is press this button here, read out, and then click transfer to confirm the calibration. And then we can go back to our main screen, which is where we'd set up a test, and that's the calibration all done.